Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
The Org Boss. The Org Boss is a residential and commercial organizing company that specializes in decluttering, interior design, inventory staging, business processing documentation, and more. Reach the Org Boss today at 832-617-0624 or send an email to info@theorgboss.com.
True Digital Media Consulting. You're online right now and so are your customers, but marketing has to be a consistent journey. True Digital Media Consulting can help with your online ads, organic growth, and so much more. Contact us today at 832-934-4436 or visit our website at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com.
Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Hey, yo.
Yo, hey, it's on me that
Hey,
time.
yo.
You like that switch up?
Oh, you saw the
What
little
up?
switcheroo. What's up, peeps? It's your girl, Kalia Guillory, and I'm so happy. Like, super duper dope happy
How
that
happy?
you decided to come in through and check us out on Startup Masters. I'm your girl, Kalia Guillory. You can follow me across all social media platforms. You can catch those links on my website at kogpassion.com. And again, welcome to Startup Masters. That's right, the place where you could get the riveting content, the dopest guests that are going to tell you all the knowledge that they know from beginning to the middle to perhaps even the trials and the tribulations as they navigate this thing called entrepreneurship. Now listen, we know this road ain't for the punks, so make sure you got your digital notepad ready, your pen and pad ready, because I got a suspicion that today is gonna be one of those shows that you're gonna have to go back and listen and watch it again. Ain't that right, G?
You know that's right. This is what we always do. How you feel about that? How you feel about the idea of somebody having to sit down and take notes? How do you feel about the idea of someone having to sew back into themselves based on the trials and tribulations other people have been through? Now, let me watch this. Pivot. Let me turn to y'all. For those that are tuned in right now, you're sitting in your car. Those that are tuned in, you're sitting at home via iTunes right now. You're in your Apple TV. My name is Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. And, of course, you can reach me right here at Startup Masters via email. startupmasters@thesphere.tv. We'll get your questions answered. Or you can reach me personally at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We're doing it all, folks, because we want to make sure we're sewing back into you all when it comes to building that business, building that entrepreneurial dream, that empire that you've been sitting on, that you're ready to birth. We are here to help you take that thing to fruition. And we've got such a lineup for you today. Let me tell y'all, first and foremost, we're in rare form, right? Because we've been foolish since 6 o'clock hit. Let me just keep it a buck.
Perhaps a football, we turned up at 6.
Yeah, we took the turned up happened when she walked in the door. MC Hammer came through heavy through the door.
Hammer, she is
Hammer. They put him in the mix. So it's such an honor to have the Sphere's own, the numero uno, the head honcho herself of Elite Dental Wellness, none other than Dr. Ashandra Bautiste. What's up?
I'm in the building.
You are in the
again.
building.
Hey.
Yeah, like I love being here.
Good deal.
So I'm so happy.
That's
to
2
be
days
with-
in a row.
2 days in a row.
Come on.
You was just up here yesterday.
I was just up here last
Just
night
up here.
at this time.
She probably was wondering, like, why we just couldn't record the episode
Right.
then.
Like, I was like,
Okay, G. Clearly, get her here.
Get everybody here. Let's get this rolling.
I got a whole bunch of kids. I got a gang of kids.
Clearly.
So.
You got a
I got a
squad.
squad.
You got Golden State Warriors.
So-
over
She
there.
got a
They
legit
doing it.
Spartan
I
five.
do. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
I do.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do. The Cubby Five.
No Durant.
In the
though.
building.
But
In
yeah.
the building. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
popping.
Yeah.
Well, we want to say thank you so much for joining us at this table. It's a honor and a privilege just to have you in the building, simply
Thanks.
because
Yes.
you have set the standard of excellence when it comes to running a business. You have shown and proved that we can be minorities in this country, majorities in the world, and put success forward at every leap, bound, and turn. So, what we like to do specifically at
Okay.
this table, though,
Okay.
is take people along this entrepreneurial journey.
Sure.
I see you over here cheesing. You nervous yet? No sweat or nothing,
No.
huh? The light's kind of hot.
It is
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
ready.
Yeah.
real at this
Yeah.
table.
The one thing that I have always been is extraordinarily transparent.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem with any questions, whatever. Bring it. Let's talk.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
So, we like to start from conception of your business,
Okay.
walk through to where you're at today, and then head forward to that future, that 5, 10, 20-year plan.
Okay.
You ready to take our people on this journey?
Sure. Let's do it.
Good deals. Now, for those that are tuned in right now on Facebook Live, hey, we appreciate you. We love you. We support you all for everything that you do. If you got any questions, make sure you put them in now. We're only on Facebook Live for about 15, 20 minutes before we, conclude, and you've got to go subscribe. So, without further ado, as KG said earlier, make sure you grab your digital pads and pens. We take notes as we go along this entrepreneurial journey of elite dental wellness. So, Chandra,
Yes.
Take-
Gary, one of my favorite people, by the way.
I appreciate
Aw,
that.
how
That's
cute
love.
is that?
That's love.
It
now.
is. I love Gary.
Take a, and I love you too, my dear. Take a. She's like the big young sister I never had.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's
You know what I mean?
ridiculous.
The big young
She's
sister.
so mature. Like she's
Yeah.
been through so much in life.
Got it.
But technically, I'm older than her.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but when
Not
I'm,
that much.
but not by much. But when I
Yeah.
look at her, I'm like, damn. You here and here,
Inspiring.
and I'm like, I'm just over here on training wheels sometimes. You know how I feel.
Listen.
She out here inspiring the
Look,
world.
my training wheels are still on, just no one can see them.
I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel
They
that. That
They're still
iceberg.
there. They're still there.
That iceberg effect.
Yeah.
All those things below the level nobody
Yeah.
sees.
Yeah,
And they only see
absolutely
the
not.
peak.
Cause
The
she
peak of
is
success.
It is.
And that's a
Let's go,
roll.
doctor.
You don't see what's going on under
Oh,
that
no.
water.
It's real.
My ducks are like,
It's real.
my feet are like, above water. I'm like, yeah, this looks easy.
Hey, I gotta start at 5.
Man.
Business.
Indeed. But take us back in time. Take our viewers
Sure.
back. Those that are subscribed right now. Take them back in time with you to when you said, you know what? We need a dentist practice or dentist environment, shall I say? Perhaps even one day an empire that delivers wellness at an elite level. What was going on in your life?
So, my mom and dad always say that I have been, the boss of many young people since I was like 3, right? Like I was a little girl on the street that had, all my friends were older than me, but I was telling them what to do, right? So like the bossy nature of what I was when I was young, clearly out of the womb, my parents allowed and fostered, right? So
Good for
I've
them.
known, right? So I've known since I was 11, which I do find it to be rare that you hear this, that I wanted to be a dentist. So at 11, I said I want to be a dentist, and I made sure that I was able to be a dentist through taking the proper educational steps.
Okay.
Now, getting to when you're in dental school, you're learning all about the idea of what the science is and the art behind dentistry. They do not teach you anything about business ownership. Period.
Right.
They don't teach you anything about the business side of dentistry. You don't know anything about insurance. You don't know how it works. You don't know anything about, fee for service and all these other kind of terms that you end up having to learn. You don't learn how to manage payroll and manage people and manage, when your hours are going to be and what's the pros and cons of having these hours versus this hours and where should you be in town. And they don't teach you any of that. So, I'm in dental school and I'm like, man, I'm not working for anybody for long.
For long.
Because I
knew.
realized that coming out, the most important thing for me was to be able to have to kind of get a home first, to have some kind of liquidity, and then go into business ownership. Now, I also knew that the best thing to do for me was to work for someone and find a practice that I was going to be able to inherit. I didn't want to start something from the ground up. Now, If I go back, I would probably do something different. But at that time,
We'll get to that.
yeah, yeah. At the time, I wanted to say, okay, you've already established something. Let me come in and snatch it up and make it my own, right? And so that's what I ended up doing in 2011. So I graduated in 2007. I bought my dental practice in 2011.
Nice.
So 3 years later.
Now, during that time frame from 07 to 11, was it just being that assistant, going through the motions, getting
So,
the understanding?
Yeah, so from the time I graduated in 2007, I moved back to Houston, and I was an associate in several different types of practices. So I was in a mostly DHMO practice, which is pretty much insurance that you're not reimbursed very highly. And then I went to another practice that was collecting like $3.5 million a year, which is a lot of money
insurance.
in dentistry. No, they were actually fee for service. What that means is that they did not accept traditional insurance.
Got it.
You could bring it in and they would file for you. So I chose to use this several years of like an opportunity to learn.
Sure.
And to determine what type of practice did I want. Did I want like a kind of a higher end $3.5 million? That's a lot of money for any business, but a dental practice to make that kind of money is a lot.
Sure.
So I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? I didn't know if I wanted to be more community-based driven. What were my fees going to be? So I took those 4 years to kind of do my own investigative research, but I dove in like an undercover cop, right? I went in and learned and drilled every assistant and every doctor that I could ask, and asked a lot of questions in that amount of time. And during that time, I got the job at the office that I eventually acquired or I eventually purchased.
Now, let's put a pin there, because you know why I'm pinning that. For those that are tuned in right now, that was a gem that you might have missed. So let's rewind that tape. What you didn't hear her say that she said was the fact that there were transferable skills picked up during that time that she's grinding, that she's undercover cop in this situation, making sure she learns the ins and outs of these practices from not just from a monetary perspective, but also from a principles, of policies, ethics, things that you want to know about before you dive into business yourself. You've got to learn about your business before you become that business. A lot of times people get caught up on the mindset of they just want to acquire something. And they have no back end understanding of what makes it tick-tock. You got to spend that time, folks.
But check this out.
Go ahead. You got it.
There was so many gems in there. Come on. Like, if I peel the onion back just a little bit more, it started with the parents. It started with the upbringing. A lot of times in our community, we view the word as bossy as negative connotation. But your parents created space to foster that. The second thing that I don't know if y'all caught and you picked up on is you said you want to buy a house so you can tap into that equity. What I'm guessing is that you use some of that equity to leverage so you can acquire. We're going to get into that, y'all, but I hope you following along. I'm just coming back so that you can catch the way that Ashandra's thinking was on this. You're thinking because you were thinking with the end in mind. You built this business with the end in mind.
So like what I didn't want to do was I knew that there was a potential to take a financial hit after going into entrepreneurship, right? So what I didn't want to do was not have something that I can lean into if I needed to, which is a home.
Right.
Also didn't want to continue to put money down like an eternal pit with renting, right? And so I knew that I could continue to rent and kind of be in a safe space, right? Which is when renters are perfectly fine. It just wasn't a space that I wanted to be in if I was going to say, okay, look, I acquired a lot of cash. Let me go ahead and buy a home. Yeah. And now I have something that I can say if something doesn't go right, if I need some cash, I can actually pull it out of my home versus not having anywhere to kind of turn to get money. Now, thank God I haven't had to do that, but I also wanted to make sure that I started very early owning a home. Like I knew that was something that's important. So
that's the gem.
Yeah.
That's the cash flow.
Assets.
Yeah.
Listen, equity?
Equity. Yeah. And so when you go to the bank and they're like, okay, well, how much money do you need? And at the time I was buying a $1.2 million practice. If I have nothing to bring to the table, all they see is my debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, car note. They have nothing to say like, well, where can you leverage any of this? And so at least I had a home. Yeah.
It's one of the 4 C's of when you're purchasing anything, and that's collateral.
Yeah.
Collateral is where we need to be, y'all. Like it's if you got more liabilities than assets, We need to rethink that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something that we need to rethink is just our organization. And this part of the show is sponsored by our good friends down at the Org Boss. Has the clutter in your home or office gotten out of hand? Are you sick and tired of spending way too much time trying to find the things you need on a daily basis? If so, then give the Org Boss a call so that she can help you create organized, functional systems that match your personal lifestyle. The Org Boss is a residential and commercial organizing company that specializes in decluttering, home staging, interior design, space planning, inventory staging, and business process documentation for growing businesses looking to formally document their procedures. Call the Org Boss today, like right now, 832-617-0624, or send an email to info@theorgboss.com. That's info@theorgboss.com. Shout out to V.
What up, V?
I love V. Hey, V.
Now
They
listen,
be doing it, man.
Yeah.
They be doing it.
you were playing an undercover cop,
Mhm.
picking these good people brain.
I was.
Which we could probably also refer to them as your mentors or sponsors.
Sure. I don't think that they I didn't one of the biggest mistakes, and I will say this right now, is that I did not actively seek someone that was willing, or some ones that were willing to put on the hat of mentor.
Let's talk about that, because you just
Yeah.
led me down the road where I was trying to go
Yeah.
in terms of like, what are some of those nuggets that you learned along the way? We don't refer to them as mistakes, just learning opportunities. That sounds like that might be a huge
Oh,
one.
yeah, I would have, if, once again, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, right?
100.
What?
All the time.
All the time,
Yeah.
right? Like, if was a fifth, like, I'd be drunk today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since it's not.
Country.
I'm from Houston.
What a show.
That sound like some Port Arthur stuff.
My parents are from Beaumont, so if that makes you feel
That
any better.
makes sense,
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So if it was a fifth, I'd be drunk. However, and if a frog had a snake, if a frog had a gun, he'd if a frog had a pocket, he'd pack a gun for the snakes.
Okay.
There you go. My daddy says that all the time.
I
Remember
remember
that one.
story with
Yeah,
the frog and
the
the
frog
snake.
and a pocket gun. Okay, so anyway,
Papa Bautiste on it.
yeah, he on it. So he learned that from the original Papa Bautiste, my grandfather. However, that was like the first thing that I wish I would have done. I wish I would have grabbed a whole bunch of people that were in different stages of their career, new, old, middle, making a whole lot of money, not making a whole lot of money, everything in between, to pick their brains and get as much information I could get from them, because I did not do that. And I went into it, and a lot of us who think that we know everything about our field, which as a dentist I knew a lot, right? I still don't know everything about my dental field, but I felt like I knew enough as a practitioner to go into the business side of it. So I didn't need a lot of like guidance, right? And I wish I would have. I really do. I think that there's a lot of arrogance in people at the time, especially myself, and very little humility at the time, because I'm a doctor. I'm smart. I've been doing this. I got my money together. I got like all that, right?
Right.
Underneath, I was a divorcee, right? I was a divorcee. I had student loan debt up to my, eyeballs, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? As far as the business element of it, I had a whole bunch of ideas. Like I had a whole bunch of things that I had written down in notebooks, and they do this here and they do that. But I had no real true knowledge of how to put that together to make it mine. Right?
Y'all getting this transparency?
Ooh-wee.
You don't get this from business owners that often. That's
You
the
don't.
beauty of Startup Masters.
No.
This is owners
they
who
don't.
have made it,
Come on.
right?
Come on. You feel now comfortable to tell that story
Right.
because you've been through, and you know that those trials and tribulations you went through would be a blessing for somebody else. That's why
Absolutely.
you tell the stories.
You have to tell the stories, and I think that it's shameful that more business owners aren't transparent. I think too many of us are too busy, like kind of insta stunting and stunting for the gram, and putting everything out there that's so great that you don't talk about the struggle. So the person behind you is only looking at the fact that you drive a nice car, or that you are balling, or you got a Louis, you got this, you got Gucci, you do all that, but like you don't show people how you got that. And you don't show people that when your bank account was negative for
Listen.
3 days in a row, when you couldn't make payroll. I mean, I've been there. Like, I'm like, man, God, where am I going to get this money? You don't tell people how you lay down on the floor. And I literally, there's this like meme that I always think of, and I think of myself, because it's like this like stick the sick person that's laying on the floor and there's like a puddle around him from just crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been there. And business owners don't talk about that. They don't talk about how they have to pay other people maybe first before they pay themselves, and how long you may have to do that. Which is
Come
why,
Woo!
Come on.
right?
Or you're not getting any type of receivables at all.
At
to
all.
pay anybody.
Yeah.
To pay anybody.
You ain't got nobody to pay but yourself.
Right.
Come on. Hey. Hey. Man, we're about to call for the benediction. Is there one?
Or offering. Or offering.
Come on, man.
I'm taking all.
Guess what? Facebook. We about to close up shop on this side though. We about to close this offering for y'all. So first and foremost, Facebook, we see y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Sharice, we see you. Deborah, we see you.
Hey,
Deb.
Mama.
What's
That's
up?
my mama.
Hey, what's up, Deb? Monique, always tuning in. Thank you so much for following us. We appreciate the love. Deldrick, what's up, bro? I see you on Thursday. But remember, folks, we're going to shoot for about 15, 20 minutes or so. So guess what? You've got to go subscribe. So head over to sphere.tv/startup masters, and we've got options for you. You can find us right there on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, YouTube. You can even find us in your kitchen with your Amazon Alexa. Now, while you're there, make sure you share this out. Share with your family, your friends. Share with your colleagues. Share with your loved ones. Share with your haters. Share with anyone and everyone so they can understand where to get the gems from when it comes to their entrepreneurial journey. And at the same time, give us constructive criticism. We want to know how we're doing. So hit those stars, hit those likes, hit those dislikes, whatever that is, leave those comments so we can continue to build a great show for you. And of course, last but not least, if you love what we're doing, sow a seed. Go over to sphere.tv/donate. We've got a couple of options. You can donate one time right on the website, single donation, or you can become a Patreon-based donator and donate on a subscription-style service. That way you're going to get exclusive content that's just for those that are donating via Patreon. And we've got a bunch of different options on the Patreon website for how you can donate and what levels you can donate and different things you're going to get. So, once again, folks, the show is not ending, but make sure you subscribe to Startup Masters right here at the Sphere. So let's keep this party rolling. And obviously, it's been a roller coaster journey from that infancy level.
Sure.
Then we talk about today. After you've brushed those shoulders off, after you've made payroll, after you've gotten those reviews on Google, you've gotten those reviews on Yelp, people are coming in, they're loving your service, you have become their premier dental care provider. Talk to us today about the services and offerings you have over at Elite Dental Wellness.
So what I've chosen to do, and I've always known this, when I was in dental school, the ortho chief or the head of the ortho department wanted me to apply. And she was like, "Look, I want you to stay. You're going to get in. I'm going to make sure you get in. I want you to be orthodontist." And I was like, "Doc, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I have no desire to be an orthodontist." The main reason why is because I knew that I knew back then that I wanted to be able to offer multiple services. I knew I wanted to kind of challenge myself on a daily basis with the different types of dentistry, because the thing about dentistry is it's multifaceted, it's multi-layered. You can pick and choose what you want to do as a general dentist. You can say, "Look, I only want to drill and fill," which just means I don't want to do fillings. You could be a cosmetic dentist. What you pretty much do is focus on like veneers and changing people's smiles with crown work and things like that. You could have everything in practice, which is what I've chosen to do. So what I've chosen to do over the last 11 years, so I've been a dentist now 11 years, which feels unbelievable.
Congratulations.
Thank
Live
you.
hand cap for that.
Here it
Live
is.
hand
Boom.
clap.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Praise
That's
him.
big time.
I know, 11 years. Like, people are like, "How old are you?" Like,
Come on.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm almost 40."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Real.
I'm like,
real
real
talk.
rap.
I'm right.
Like real talk.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Touch
y'all
the
know
fork,
black don't crack. So,
Yeah.
and when I wear my hair up in like my ponytail, they be like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I've been doing this 11 years. So, in those years, I've spent like 1 year, I took almost 200 hours of just continuing education, which we do have to take as dentists, but it's only 12 hours as a recommendation. But I took almost 200 hours on implants, right? So then I came out of that year implant certified, placing implants, et cetera, et cetera. The year before that, I took something like 50 hours to do orthodontics, do braces. So what I chose to do was the reason why I'm at Elite Dental Wellness is so that I'm not referring a lot of dentistry out of my own practice.
Come on, sir.
So that I'm able to say, okay, yes, I'm keeping you well because I'm not saying, ooh, I only do this and I only do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not shooting you out to Dr. A, B, and C to take care of things that I can do in the office. Now, that does make my life busy, right? Because right now I came in here and I was like, oh, man, I'm playing with y'all. I need to order implants.
Yeah.
Because I'm placing implants, right?
Yeah.
My team struggles at times with the fact that I do so much dentistry because just like you said, was who could I have delegated that to? And I'm like, yeah, I could have delegated it to, one of my 7 employees. However, they got to think about the same thing I think about, which is all the different dentistry I do, right? So they may have taken care of all the fillings that are on the schedule for tomorrow, but who thought of the implants that's on schedule tomorrow,
You need all hands on deck all the time.
Right. And so that makes the office run, it's like I have a really great mentor now and several great mentors. And one of them was like, hey, Coca-Cola is a great brand. We all know Coca-Cola. You see a red can anywhere, you think Coke before you think anything else, right? And they were like, Coca-Cola, even though it's great, it's still a work in progress. Every day, the team is working on it. So even though I'm in a better place today, we are constantly working on
grind.
it. It's never like we have a great day. We had a great day yesterday. I mean, a great day yesterday. And this morning, morning huddle is back to business. Yesterday is done.
Right.
Congratulations. Today, reset.
Yeah.
Right.
Get your 9 later.
Right.
Let's party rolling.
Right.
Yeah.
You have your coffee? All right. First patient of the day requires XYZ, right? Like you always are hustling, you always are grinding. So what I've learned in my practice today is that because I offer so many different services, I also then have to make sure that my team is on board with all the services I offer and that I'm kind of putting back into them and sewing back into them how to kind of keep the practice running because I can't do it by myself. I really can't do it by myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. And here's the rub. It takes the delegation and it takes everyone to have that same uniform mindset that you have as a leader. Because if they're not following suit, if your tribe isn't following right along with you, you can't expect for excellence to come forward. It just can't do it. But speaking of excellence, there's one particular letter in that speaks volumes to me, and that's the letter X. What's that X factor about you, Ashandra, about you, Dr. Bautiste, that makes Elite Dental Wellness stand out amongst other dental providers?
Well, I mean, anybody who knows me, which y'all know me, this is who I am here and it's who I am in my practice. And so I think what people can appreciate is yes, clearly I'm educated. There's not a question on my education. But no one ever comes into my office and feels like I'm the smartest one in the room, right?
That's big time. That's huge.
No, because everyone has a feeling about what they're going through. Everyone has a different life experience. So, yes, I know all the science about your teeth, right? I can tell you everything that's going to happen, but I can't tell you about your money. I can't tell you how you feel about your money. I can't tell you how you feel about your time. I can't tell you about any of that, right? So what I have to do as a clinician is have the human element.
Talk about it.
Right? And that human element is what allows people to then pull out their checkbooks, their visas, their MasterCards, their cash, their care credits, and trust me with their finances.
Come on.
Because what happens is that you're not trusting me with your teeth. You are, kind of, right?
Sure.
Like you trust me. But it's not just that you have to trust me with.
Oh, no. So much more.
It's so much more. You're saying, I'm about to give this woman $3,000. And that $3,000 takes much longer than if I did a good root canal or not, or if your braces work.
Very
Like,
true.
those are things that people are more tied to their finances. So if they feel like they're giving it to someone who's open with them, that's honest with them, that is telling them pretty much this is what could happen, but I'm telling you that this, and this could happen. I'm going to be transparent with you. Trust me to do my job if you're going to do your part, right? So I have these types of conversations with patients consistently that by the time that they say, okay, I'm giving this to you, it doesn't feel like I'm writing you, I'm giving you all I got. I'm paying for every school.
That's why people go there. That's why I'm coming for my next clinic. That's why I'm coming
Come
to
through.
experience.
Come through.
I'm coming.
That is funny.
And I think that the one of the X factors is when you do come to the office, what you're gonna immediately feel is that all my people know you,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna be like, why do I feel like I'm at home? Like I'm kicking it with my friends and family. That's why people like to come to us, because they feel like we know them. We take the time to know them. We take the time to make sure that you are comfortable. Like we do all those things. No, I'm not giving you a hand massage and a warm towel. I'm not doing that, right? But
Where we at? Vicks and
no,
that?
no, I'm not right. We're not doing that. We're not at Vicks.
Yeah, the appetizer.
Right.
Aperitif.
Right. There's no champagne service.
For real.
So the X factor isn't what you are like providing as far as the tangible things, it's the intangible things. And those are the things that people go home and remember. They remember that I stayed after work today to talk 30 minutes, which I was a little late, which mattered to me and my patient because she is struggling with a life decision.
Ooh.
So she needed me to help her
Yeah.
through this life decision.
So much bigger than rap.
It's so much bigger than teeth.
Come on.
It is. And
Come
when you
on.
think about, most people don't go to the dentist because of judgment. I mean, I fired a dentist before because he, well, how often are you flossing? Sir, you saw my teeth. You already know.
Yeah,
I'm getting better with it. Okay.
Rhetorical.
So,
You keep asking about
everybody that
hygienists coming here. They're
Right.
talking about,
right.
well,
This is funny that you say that because what I tell patients, I used to say, how often do you floss your teeth, right? Now I say, no, I know you're not flossing your teeth. And I don't like to floss my teeth.
listen, humanize this thing.
Right.
Like,
And so I humanize it because I do
Yeah.
not like to floss my teeth.
Who
so
does?
I don't even say how often. Why am I going to give you the opportunity to make you feel bad
Yep.
for telling me that you don't,
Talk about
or that you feel like you have to lie to me,
Yeah.
or you feel like I'm judging you? So I just say, we know,
Yeah.
me,
What's up?
you and I know
We know.
We're now equals.
We are.
Now
that
now
that
there's
you don't like to
come on.
floss.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And let me tell you why I know, and it's okay that you don't even have to
And
tell
it's
me
cool.
Yeah.
because we're gonna get you there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you realize how much work I have to do, then you're gonna be like, God dog, and I need to floss.
It took for me to get one crowd.
right.
I mean,
That's it.
All right.
No, it takes us one.
But you know what else you're talking about, you're hitting on is, I'm willing to bet, is that your referral program or the amount of referrals that you get is like off the charts, because that's a part of marketing. Like that's the best type of marketing, because you don't even have to pay for that. Like a referral is free. And it just so happens that this portion of the show is sponsored by our good friends over there at True Digital.
What up?
You're online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. True Digital Media Consulting can help with website development, online ads, your business reputation, and organic growth on search engines. Give us a call today to discuss a customized strategy for your business at 832-934-4436, or send us an email to info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Sphere to receive a free, free 30-minute strategy consultation to get this business up and going.
There it is. You gotta do
Shout
that
out
thing.
to our homies at True.
Whew, doing the thing.
Doing
So
the thing.
I want to dive into something with you simply because I think a lot of times, and KG and I actually had this conversation off air, a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we get caught up in the rigmarole
Ooh.
of business, of deliverables,
Listen.
of trying to meet and exceed expectations.
Every day.
But what's often missed by a lot of entrepreneurs is being able to sow back into self. You can't pour from an empty cup. So outside of cosmetic and ortho and all the different things, preventative measures, things that you're delivering day in and day out, what is Dr. Bautiste doing for self to recharge that battery, to take her back to that optimum level?
So I tell this to not only, I mostly have this conversation with mothers, right? Because mothers tend to ask me the most. Business owners don't tend to ask me this as often, but mothers, whether they are entrepreneurs or not, work for someone else, they ask me all the time, I don't understand how you have the energy level and the time, and like, what is it that you do? How do you? And I tell them all the time, I say, listen, my kids are on a schedule. So I believe in that. I believe my kids like summertime. I hate summer. Like I need
That's
some
funny.
reassessment.
It came out of nowhere.
I hate summer.
No,
That's
it's
the thing. It's like they just got out of school though.
Yeah,
like they
No,
few
it's
weeks.
guttural.
maybe
It's been
7
2.
days.
It's been 2 weeks.
Oh
Wow.
You counting?
I am.
Have you started the countdown from when they go back?
I'm about to start a timer on my iPhone.
I hate summer.
I hate summer.
But it was with a
No,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
this is
a-
real when this
it's a
happens.
passion.
Very, very much so.
Right.
Very much so.
And the reason why I hate it is because my kids no longer have a schedule,
Mm.
right? So part of the reason why I love the schedule is because my children, they are 12, 5, and now 6 months. They go to bed at 8:30.
Right.
Right?
12-year-old.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
You don't have to be asleep,
You
but
just
you
gotta
need to
be-
be gone.
okay. My face.
No, for real.
Out
Let
the
me catch that cell phone.
Yeah.
Let me catch that laptop.
Before you catch these
Let me
hands.
shut it down.
Okay. No, you
Before
can catch
you
these
catch
hands.
these hands.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
I love it. I
she's-
can't wait to be a
Ooh,
parent.
right.
Yeah.
I'm like 8:30. Got it.
No, for real.
It's exciting.
It's
Try me.
exciting. Right.
Try me.
Like I won't see that cell phone plugged in downstairs in the living room. I'm like, it is 8:29, ma'am. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Right? And so the reason why I'm saying this is because at 8:30, I don't know what time y'all go to bed, but that gives me 2 hours minimum a day of no children.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband needs me, which is fine, but it's I could do whatever I want in those 2 hours. I could go to bed if I wanted to. I could take a long bath if I want to. I can watch Netflix that's inappropriate for children if I want to. I believe in working out, which I unfortunately haven't been able to do within the last month, but I believe in working out. I believe in eating healthy, right? So those things in and of itself give you energy, right?
Sure.
So working out, I tell moms, and I'm kind of focusing more on moms because, like I said, entrepreneurs don't tend to ask me this, but I tell moms, I'm like, look, however they found you is how they would like for you to stay.
True.
I
indeed.
don't give two flying flips what
Listen.
your husband or partner says. They fell in love with like a total picture, right? And so if you were, a size 12 and killing it, they kind of liked that size 12 and killing it. And you liked the size 12 and killing it. So what happens in entrepreneurs is we get overwhelmed and we get overworked and we get overburdened and then we get overweight. Because we're not eating that's so healthy. We're not taking the time to work out. We're not taking the time to go on a brisk walk. We're not taking the time to meditate. We're not taking the time to pray. We're not taking the time to kind of take care of ourselves. And so we end up stroking out at 50.
Real talk.
We're not taking care of ourselves.
real.
Right? And so I truly believe that I can't help you if I don't feel good about myself. If I'm not trying to stay as fit and fine as possible and my husband's no longer looking at me the way he used to, then that makes me feel away.
Yep. That's another layer.
Right? So let me go ahead and keep up some of this stuff. Now,
Sure.
of course, my lifestyle doesn't allow me to work out like it used to when I was pre-children. But it does allow me to work out some.
Yeah.
It allows me to make sure that my feet are done, my nails are done. Like I see a break in a day and I'll be like, going down the street, get my nails done. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Right? Because that makes me feel
We gotta
good.
utilize our time too.
Yeah, so I mean, they say, they talk about Beyonce and all these people, and I don't feel like that's fair because Beyonce gets paid millions to be gorgeous, and they like Beyonce got the same amount of hours a day that you did,
And she has a team.
but she has a team,
Come on.
You know.
right? So that's not
She
a
got somebody
fair
coming
comparison,
over to take care of the nails.
right? And she has somebody to help her cook, and if she cooks at all, right? So I think that you have to talk to people like us,
Sure.
right? Like we are a better discussion for how to
Totally.
like
For every day.
for how to deal with your 24 hours in a day. I get enough sleep. I do not play around my sleep. I go to bed probably no later than 11 every night. So, but I wake up at 6.
Yeah.
That's
So
enough for you.
That's 7
yeah,
hours.
yeah. Like I don't know how people operate at that 2 o'clock in the morning stuff.
That's crazy. That's
Right?
crazy talk.
It's crazy case. It's crazy town. Too. I mean, like I like 2 hours. Like I've been there and done it just because
Yeah, you
circumstances.
have
But
to,
it's
yeah.
like, how do someone do this like on a regular? Like, how are you functioning?
And I think conversations like this, and for those that are you're sitting in your car right now and you're listening to this while you're sitting in traffic, think about this. How often have you heard someone tell you that you can sleep when you're dead? that it's about the grind, it's about the hustle right now. Take no breaks. You're going to burn yourself out. You're not even going to be able to achieve those first interim
Right.
goals and achievements that you want simply because you are not sewing back into self. Take these precious times to make sure that you, sir or ma'am, are a full cup so that you can deliver excellence each and every day to your clientele.
Well, and I also, this is a side note, but someone was asking me today about mental health because clearly that's been in the news, of course, a lot lately,
That's
right?
very important.
And
Talk about it.
there has been 2 people that have died, of course, very, very, famously in the last
Public
week,
deaths, yeah.
right? Anthony Bourdain, who I actually loved, and Kate Spade, who was a businesswoman. Right? These are
Staple
both
in the-
these are both business
Staples.
people, right? They were
Big
dealing
business.
big business people,
Yeah.
big entrepreneurs, grinded, and Kate Spade came up from nothing. Like she
Like
started this
bootstrapping.
brand in college or whatever. So. What I say this to say that mental health is important, and someone was asking me about I have a family history of mental health, and so they were asking me, do I struggle with anything? And I said, well, I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but a few years ago I was struggling with severe anxiety, anxiety to the point where I could not physically eat. So I would go to eat, and I would swallow, and my stomach would start to kind of knot up, and I wouldn't finish. I'd be 2 bites, and I'd be I don't want any more. And so I lost 40 pounds, right?
Wow.
Which at the time I had gained some weight, so I turned around and lost it. So I just was really skinny. People were like, "Oh my God, girl, you look good," and I was like, "Thank you," but
not
I
really
was
knowing
the swan,
internally.
right? I was the swan. I was like, "Man, I look good on the outside, but I am dying," right? And so I say all that to say is that I started to pray. Whatever you believe in, you need to tap into that, right? So if you believe in something greater than yourself, you should tap into those things and find that connection with whatever that is. And within the last 6 months, I've started to learn how to meditate. So between prayer and meditation, I've learned how to center myself. Because you have to realize that, man, listen, everything could go away in a second. And whatever, no, for real, in a second.
Literally.
They know style.
Yeah.
No, for ooh, Thanos. Great reference. And so
We on one.
We on one.
We on one. Yeah.
yes, I loved it. So the idea was that, for me, when I was dealing with anxiety, what I had to start to realize was be thankful for everything I have and not worry about what I don't have, and realize that God will do everything that I can't do, and I have to do everything that I can do. And that helped me start to kind of, I would chant that every day. Do what I can, and God will do what I can.
That's
And
it.
those are things that I had to
I love that.
Yeah.
That's it. Because when we really think about it, this moment is really all we have. When we spend so much time living in the past, that's done. And then we're so much time worrying about what's to come in the future. Who knows what that's going to wind out to be, how it's going to shape up. But right now
is what matters.
is what matters.
Man,
And so I'm telling you, mental health and making sure that you know how to deal with, because as entrepreneurs, I don't care, I bet everybody at this table has a level of anxiety, and it may be low or high or stress. We like to call it stress. That's a form of anxiety, right? And so I think you have to learn how to manage that.
That's what it is. It's accepting that there is something to manage.
Yeah.
Because I think
Absolutely.
an underlying layer for all entrepreneurs is that we can be a bit manic at times. I'm manic, right?
Yeah.
Because in my head, I've conditioned myself to say, well, that's how I get ish done.
Right.
But
right.
I can't be manic every moment of the day.
And you need to know how to identify it.
Yeah.
And so when I identified that it was anxiety that was causing me to not eat, I was like, God, I got to fix this. Yeah,
Gotta put the controls back in.
you do.
You gotta take care of self. So, for those that are tuned in right now, if you're looking for a way to take care of your business, come check us out right here at the Sphere. So, are you starting your business or looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at the Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-6955. 7789, or send us an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. So make sure y'all do that.
Right.
Get that ad in.
Get that ad
Come
in
on, man.
ASAP.
I'm reading these ads like I love them.
I mean, listen,
Come
the
on.
platform
But you
is
do.
growing.
I have to.
The platform is growing
Hey,
at leaps and bounds.
let me. Hey, it's okay. Hey,
Listen.
wait till this after show.
Oh,
Okay.
you
Wait till
already
this
know.
after show.
You, Gary Lee is putting in all the work.
All of it.
Oh my. Oh,
Oh,
my.
me.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
You know the beauty of it all. The beauty of it all is when there comes that moment that every entrepreneur has, where you take that deep breath and you look back and you can finally smile a little bit because you see all the hard work and effort,
The
things
thing.
that you've put in.
That's
Look
it.
at me when I talk to y'all. You sitting on your couch right now. When you put all that workmanship, all that craftsmanship, you've put all those peas in that pod, and finally that thing is starting to sprout. And you can actually smile. You can actually breathe because things are coming to fruition in the way that your dreams have somehow manifested. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship.
I mean, and beyond that, what we find is because we're in alignment with our manifestation, with our dreams, we start to get some residual icings on the cake.
We
Like,
do.
I wasn't even wanting this, but I got it.
There it is.
It's because we were walking in alignment
Come on.
with exactly what we were created and designed to do.
That's what it is.
Because I mean, my grandpa would say this all the time. Like if it's sticky or if it's a lot of anxiety and you feel like you got to go back and start to be begging people for stuff, it ain't for you.
It ain't for you. This ain't what you're
It
called
is
to
not
do.
what you were called to do. Like
Come
you
on.
feel like you keep bumping up against the wall,
You better learn to pivot.
reconsider that it might be not the wall, but it's you.
It could be you.
I think that in those moments too, you have to, if you have mentors, and if you are a mentor, you need to be open and honest with the mentee, right? So if you are bumping against the wall, it could be you, right? Or it could be that you have taken none of the advice of a mentor,
Very true.
right? Or you have gone down a path that's untrodden, not even non-trodden. Like there's no path. You're trying to create something that's not there. So just maybe pivot and get on the path that's made for you, right? So I think that you're right. There's could be like, hey, this ain't for you. And if you're doing it by yourself, then there's no one to even tell you that this isn't for you.
Nobody there.
Nobody
Just
there,
you
right?
alone.
Yeah.
But
Questioning.
if you have friends or family or people that you trust that are in this on the industry that you want to be in, and if that person can be honest with you, like, girl, you cannot be a makeup artist. You do not have the look. You do not have the drive. You do not have the hustle. You can't apply makeup. Why don't you go into something else? You should probably take that advice. I'm just saying, like, there's other ways to be an entrepreneur
Sure.
that may not be what you think initially it could be for
So
you.
many
Yeah.
avenues.
Cater
Yeah.
to your strengths.
Yeah.
That's it.
Stop trying to
Forget about-
perfect your weaknesses.
Right.
Cater to
Yeah.
your strengths,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that's a
Now,
good
do you
point.
trust us here at this table?
Yeah.
Because we got one last question for you, my dear.
Sure.
So, as we wrap up this show
God.
and bring this thing to a close,
Sure.
there's always one thing we want to know from these entrepreneurs, these people who have gone through this journey, these trials and tribulations. For you specifically, let's just say we rewind the tape a little bit and take back every crown, every denture, every implant ordered. We take back every prosthetic made. We take back anything you've sent off to the labs. We take back any technician, hygienist that you've hired, marketing coordinator, front desk personnel, any setups that you've made to ensure that your business is scheduled properly, website, designs, every pop-up banners, every single thing that you've put into this business, every brick, every trial and tribulation through those 4 years of even deciding what type of practice you want. We take it all the way back to you exiting med school. But this time around, we hand you some seed money and allow you to remember all the things you've been through. How would you rebuild Elite Dental Wellness this time around
Oh man.
that you didn't do the first time?
Well. Oh man. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very. So the first thing I would have done, and I would not have acquired the type of practice I acquired. I would have I hired a few more people from the beginning, an independent accountant, and an attorney from the beginning.
That's always consistent.
Come on.
Like from the beginning on my team, only looking out for the facts, not anything else. And then I would not have gone into a professional building, even if the numbers suggested that the practice was doing very well in the society that we live in today. If you're not visual, if you're not seen, you don't exist. So you have to spend more money and more time to get a patient to go up some stairs, to ride an elevator. That's in Houston. If I lived in New York or some of these more high-rise towns, it's understood. You're not going to roll up and park in a storefront of New York, right? Yeah. But we don't live there. We live in Houston. And in Houston, if you're on the corner or next to a grocery store or next to H-E-B or next to Walmart, you're going to naturally get more traffic. We're a commuter car-driven place. So I would have not bought from someone else. Or if I did, I wouldn't have bought the type of practice I bought. And it would have been a storefront, period. I would have also not borrowed as much money from the beginning. Yeah. Well, the reason why I borrowed so much money is because I bought such an expensive practice, right? So that's the bigger issue is that I would have, and that's why I keep saying I wouldn't have acquired the type of practice I would have acquired. I would have gotten maybe into a struggling practice and got it for dirt cheap, and flipped it.
Yeah.
Like Makes sense. What I would have done. I would have gotten a dirt cheap practice with like decent equipment, and I wouldn't have cared about the team because I would have acquired a new team. Sure. But I would have flipped it, and I would have worked 2 jobs. I would have worked like at this practice to build it up, and then like kind of moonlighted at another practice. Yeah. That's what I would have done.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, I mean, and if anybody asked me, I would tell them the same thing. Yeah, I love my practice now. I love it, and I would change it for some seed money. And all of the experience I have now, I would have
applied knowledge is power.
Yeah, that's what I. That's what I
especially
when
you
done.
Got some seed money back in it.
Absolutely.
But because of the things you've been through, because of the trials and tribulations, because of how you've toiled to take this practice to this next level, we would like to officially coin you a startup master. Hey. So please, for all those who are tuned in right now, whether they're watching us on Facebook, continue to watch us on Facebook, or they're tuned in right now via iTunes or anywhere they're listening to us, let them know where they can reach you, where they can follow you at, and get all of your contact information so they can visit your practice.
So I am, of course, Dr. Ashandra Bautiste. You can find me at Elite Dental Wellness. That's the name of my dental practice. It's located in Houston, Texas, at the corner of Fondren and Westheimer. The office number is 713-789-8680. Our website is houstondentalwellness.com. I'm also on Instagram at hotdoc.com. That's my personal page, and of course there's an Elite Dental Wellness Instagram page. Of course, Facebook and Twitter and all that. It's Ashandra Bautiste. So I'm kind of easy to be found. I'm all over the place, so it's easy to find me.
Good deal.
So if you want to find me, you got a grill that needs fixing or maybe just some maintenance, I'm here.
Come on. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, a grill. I'm waiting for my first grill request. So if we have anybody out there that wants a grill, I'm waiting. Well, like a real one. I get them all the time, but like if you really want one, I can't wait to make my first one.
There it is. Grills and all. Folks, Elite Dental Wellness.
Yeah,
they're doing it. But thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Definitely.
I've had fun, per usual.
We've had fun.
Per usual.
KG, where can the good people reach you at, my dear?
That's my sword. Okay. Good peeps, you can catch me at kogpassion.com. There you can connect with me across my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. What about you, Jay?
Hey, anywhere online, you're looking for me, I'm there, folks. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, snappity chatting at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. Remember, you can reach us right here for this show. Shoot an email over to startupmasters@thesphere.tv or hit us across social media at the Sphere TV. Use our coveted hashtag StartupMasters, and we will definitely answer any questions that you have about the show. This has been another electrifying episode.
Oh, yes. Another one.
We will see you
and another
all
one
next time. Take
Peace
care,
out.
folks.
Peace.